was the first president of the United States? Who was the only left-handed signer of the Declaration of Independence? What was the primary cause of the American Civil War? Who served the longest term as President of the United States? Who was the first female Secretary of State of the United States? Who was the first African American President of the United States? Who won the American Civil War? Who won the American Revolutionary War? When was the first manned U.S. spaceflight? Who was the iconic outlaw of the American Wild West? Who was the first female presidential candidate in the United States? Which cities were the first targets of the atomic bombings in the world? When and where did the last battle of the American Civil War take place? Which battle was the most important in the American Revolutionary War? What was the first national park in the United States? When was the Emancipation Proclamation, the first presidential decree freeing slaves, issued? When did the first moon landing in the United States take place? Who was the black leader who fought for the abolition of slavery during the American Civil War? Which state was the first to grant women's suffrage in the United States? What was the nickname for the economic boom of the 1920s in the United States? Who was the president who oversaw the construction of the Panama Canal? What event marked the beginning of the U.S. involvement in World War II? What was the name of the major civil rights movement that fought for racial equality in the 1950s and 1960s? Who was the first American to walk on the moon? What is the name of the famous wall separating the United States and Mexico?
What is the political scandal that led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon? What is the name of the tallest building in the United States? Who was the first African-American Supreme Court justice? What is the name of the social media platform founded by Mark Zuckerberg? What was the nickname for the economic crisis that began in 1929? Who was the president who delivered the famous Gettysburg Address? What major policy aimed to prevent the spread of communism during the Cold War? What was the name of the underground network that helped enslaved people escape to freedom in the 19th century? What technological feat marked the beginning of the space age? What is the famous Hollywood sign located in Los Angeles, California, a landmark for? What historical event involved a failed attempt by the U.S. to overthrow Fidel Castro's regime in Cuba? What is the name of the famous prison located in San Francisco Bay? Who was the first woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress? What historical event involved a tense standoff between the U.S. and the Soviet Union over nuclear missiles in Cuba? What major event marked the end of the Vietnam War? What major social and economic movement of the 1960s advocated for peace, love, and social justice? What is the name of the large artificial lake located on the border between Arizona and Nevada, famous for its gambling resorts? What is the nickname for the period of economic prosperity in the 1990s under President Bill Clinton? What is the name of the famous route used by pioneers traveling westward in the 19th century? What technological innovation revolutionized communication in the late 20th century?